still one of the biggest mysteries that we know because even in Mexico, as you probably know, archaeologists have differing opinions of what's going on. So I think it's fascinating. It should be further investigated.
And we'll probably take that into account in terms of future shows. So thank you.
Right? Isn't that neat? You know, the Aztecs were as far from us from their beginning as we are from them. Just like the Egyptians, right? The time frame, you know, the most ancient king is as far away as we are from the most recent ancient kings. This is happening around the globe, and these people are the ones who have found a way to bring us that information. And I think that's special. I think it's important. And I'm so appreciative of the fact that, you know, while I would prefer to be in Timbuktu by myself doing this exercise and research, I can't be. So somebody is willing to go and get this information and share it. And something that I found very fascinating is something that, you know, I think matters, and people don't always perceive this, but disclosure of UFOs is not going to be on the White House lawn. It's not going to be in a congressional panel, although you can present the evidence and open people's minds to it so maybe they're not as frightened when they have their own encounter. Disclosure is happening right now, and it's happening because Kevin Burns took this idea for a show from some friends, went out and had Kim help him find a modern-day Indiana Jones who came to him, and when Kevin said, "So tell me, Giorgio, do you believe?" And Giorgio said, "No, I do not believe. I know." Well, there you go. That's Giorgio Tsoukalos. And thank goodness for him, right? Or we would all have nothing fun to do, watch on Friday nights in our home. We'd have to be out getting in trouble. But seriously, again, the research is impeccable. He has great ideas. I loved the one about the floating rock in Japan. I mean, there's just so much information. I may be wrong about Japan. If I am, sorry, Giorgio. But there's so many different things, and it was fun to hear them talk about what their favorite episodes are, right? I think that when William Henry went to Florence and did his Da Vinci special, which I think that aired last week, but that's fascinating, right? Because Da Vinci wasn't just an artist. He was a scientist. He was a mathematician. He was someone who risked everything to be able to do these autopsies on bodies so that he could discover how the human body actually worked. He could have been killed for that. And he did it because he couldn't help himself. When they talk about genius, it's almost like, how do we get that? And you know, if y'all listen to me with Grant Cameron, then you know that he believes we get downloads. Geniuses get downloads. Everybody can. And, you know, Da Vinci would get these ideas from nowhere. Beethoven would get these ideas from whole sonatas, whole operas, everything. People get things all the time. J.K. Rowling had all 7 books of the Harry Potter series sitting there at one time in her outline on the back of a magazine? Boom. Downloads. So it was funny because they said, well, how do y'all think we get information? And when I said downloads, they laughed. But they knew that that's where they were going with that. It happens. It happens a lot. And I think it's just brilliant when it does. I'm going to play you, I'm going to play another Giorgio clip.
The very beginning of time, if there ever was a beginning of time, that is where you arrive at God. So it is still creation. So the whole alien question is all about everybody's origin.
So I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's really something when you look at this and people are like, well, it takes you away from God. Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't take you away from God at all, because what he was talking about there, if you go back, you know, if you continue to go back, did the aliens have interventive help like, you know, we believe we did with technology and such? And ancient alien theorists say yes, right? Shout out to Robert. But then, you know, everyone has to start somewhere. Everything started somewhere. This, like I said, this is not a void. So if we have assistance and they had assistance to get to the point that they were able to come and share with us, and then they had that, you know, the people that helped them had been assisted as well, you keep going back. You keep going back, and when you get to the end, as he said, if there was an end of time, if there's a beginning of time, then there is God. Because if there was a beginning, someone had to create that beginning. Somebody had to create whatever started this. So you're not walking away from God because you believe in this. It's pretty fascinating to me. And that was something that was very strongly stated a couple of different times. And I just thought it was cool. So we are going to be getting into some clips from Eric von Daniken here in just a little bit. I want to tell you that I know how fortunate I am. Everyone should be able to hear this man live, in your face, having the discussion with you. He's clear. He's concise. He doesn't always understand the questions, and Giorgio was there to interpret for him, so that was nice. The man speaks so many languages, and he's a very impressive human, just very impressive as a person. You take away the world-changing views that came from his books. You take away the spirit that he takes into his work, where he's gone everywhere. He had Nazca Mine photographs 50 years ago, maybe more, and he had over 5,000 different designs of photographs that he had taken from the air. He was Indiana Jones before there was an Indiana Jones, right? He went down into the bottom of the pyramids. That wasn't nerve-wracking at all, right? Down underneath all of that weight, right over the top of you. No worries there. When they found the Queen's Chamber, it was something that you really have to hear him describe, because the holes to enter the Queen's Chamber were tiny and high. So an average person couldn't get in there. And so they put a little rover kind of thing through with a cam, and when it got to the end, there wasn't a way out. So that was your in and your out. So, I mean, he has seen things that people can only dream of. Only dream of. And he's seen them all. I don't know if someone asked if there was someplace somebody did ask him if there was someplace he still wanted to go. And I will be darned if I can remember that, but I will find that. I'm sure it's on a recording, and I will find it and share it with you. Because where do you go when you've seen and documented everything, right? He's just everybody's dream job is what that is. So I did not know that he had written Guild of the Gods, which was featured on this week's show. So I'm interested in that. Now I have to go get that book too. Every time I see him, I have to buy more books. But we are going to be going to our last break, and we will be back in about 2 minutes. So thanks for hanging with us, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
Hello there. I am back. I am Kat Hobson, the host of Paranormal Experienced Radio, and thank you so much for joining me tonight for the review of AlienCon 2016-18. Good Lord, it's been 2 years. 2018. I am truly appreciative of you being here, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, because I'm going to tell you, that was a great event. There were some logistical issues again, but that was not due to anything other than the crowds, and it was great. It was great. So my last segment is going to be covering the last lecture of the event, and that was Giorgio Tsoukalos with Eric von Daniken. And Eric is someone that I enjoy listening to. I'm amazed when he shares his experiences. But this event, he shared what brought him to his understanding of reality leading to Chariot of the Gods. He was very much under attack when he wrote that book because people felt that it violated biblical history, and they were offended and affronted. And this man, I can't find his name, Eric shared that this man had written a book called, I believe it was Crash of the Chariots, which was basically slamming Eric and his information. And it was fascinating.